Hey, I want to welcome our listeners to the Kennesaw Happening podcast. We're broadcasting from Overture and also a local business in the downtown Kennesaw area. So after this podcast, you're going to want to make a point to go see Kathy and the Brain Station. So we're going to dive in. I want to, Kathy, just introduce yourself, who you are, who you serve, and then we'll get into the podcast. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm Kathy Clark, and I'm the owner of the Brain Station. We want to just be a light in the community of Kennesaw, so we are excited to open very soon.
Awesome. You know, it's seldom do we have a guest on there that's like pre-opening. You know, most businesses are established. So this is exciting for our listeners to be able to know what your vision is, why you opened Brain Station, and just some of the things that they're going to be able to benefit from by you being in the downtown area. So how did you come up with this idea? I know Bartina told me, and I was floored, but would you share with our viewers a little bit about your vision?
My daughter and I had driven through downtown Kennesaw, and we'd seen this place back in 2017. Mm-hmm. We thought that would be a great place to do like a boutique, because we lost our older daughter in 2015 in an automobile accident. She was one of the Georgia Southern nursing students that was killed.
Oh my gosh.
So we wanted to do something for her.
Yes.
And she always wanted a boutique. She was going to be a nursing student, and her boyfriend was he's a pharmacist, and so they wanted to open a pharmacy and have a little boutique in there, and she was the nursing. So anyway, that's where we got the idea. And then we got to thinking, well, what can we do that would help the community? And you see so many children struggling now. So we want to put some education in there, just to help the community. And we're going to have all kinds of things in there, only besides tutoring and the retail space and the coffee shop. But we want to have like monthly meetings or things that people can do, like TED Talks and things like that, where we have information for parents, for students, all kinds of things. So we're exploring those avenues.
Well, you know, understanding why you're to honor your daughter and to, you know, create a business around her vision is pretty powerful. And so, you know, when your other daughter, when you're talking about putting this together, how long ago did you start planning on this? I know you said 2017, you saw the building, but when did you sign the lease and start putting really concrete plans together?
Well, it's been 2 years, over 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
About December will be 3 years that we kind of came up with the idea. My husband bought the building, and so he's leasing it to me. So we just got everything done. We got all the permits and all the approvals that we had to get. And so it's been in the planning for 3 years, and it's just taken a while to get the building to where we could pass everything. So, but we're ready to go, and we're looking at October 17th as an opening date.
Awesome. All right. For our listeners, you know, the downtown area is really starting to grow. The amphitheater will be next year, and just different things that are coming together. So I think your timing for what you're doing to add to the community is perfect. And I would guess, I'm not an accountant, but there's one payment you don't want to be late on, and it's your rent check, because I think that's one that you could find yourself in trouble with your husband, and I don't think you want to do that.
Yeah, we're ready to go. So
awesome. Why don't you share with our viewers, like, I understand the concept on the coffee, shop. And I understand the concept on the, having the resources with therapists. Why don't you share a little bit about what your thoughts are as far as how that value is going to be communicated in the community?
Well, just having a place for parents to be able to wait for their children. It's a nice area that they can wait on their children, and their children can get the help that they need. And we also have the shopping, so it's kind of like the parents have a place to go, or students coming in to study, because we'll be open all day. And so with the tutoring, it's usually in the evenings or after school. So we'll have a place that you can have some meetings or a Bible study, because we have 3 rooms available. So
that's fantastic. When you think, I went to the KBA, Kennesaw Business Association Wake Up yesterday at a local cafe, which is across from PGA Superstore. And, when you host something like that, I think there's about 25 or maybe 25 people that were there. 25 people that are connected in the community get to come to your business and really see it and be able to experience it, because there's nothing better. I mean, I love websites. I was in that business for years. I mean, I think it's wonderful to have it, and you have to have an online presence. But when you can come and talk to you or your daughter and just understand the concept, it's so much more valuable for people to experience something than to really hear that, okay, we're going to be a center point for the community. And I think that's a really good way to do it. What would you say, is the cafe part just like light snacks and coffee and things? What do you plan on having in the cafe?
We'll have coffee, smoothies, tea, specialty coffees, and we'll have Burton Boo's bakery items in there, and some bagels, things like that.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about the bakery side. I know Bartina said you didn't want to become a chef or pastry chef, so you have, I guess, your relationship with them, they're providing that part of it. Would you share with our viewers a little bit about what that looks like?
Sure. She had a bakery in off of McEver Road, and so she's decided that she just wants to do wholesale to people. So we'll have scones and sweetbread and cookies and cupcakes, and so she'll provide that for us. So it'll be she's an all natural baker, so it'll be some good stuff.
Oh, that's, I when Bartina told me, I said, that's so smart, because sometimes business owners get into things that they shouldn't be. Like, if they're not in the bakery business, you don't need to be trying to be a baker. You just have to do what you. Yeah, I mean, it's so important to bring in somebody that has already been doing that for years and years and years, and be able to, give this to the community through a wholesale agreement with her. I think that's so smart. That's good. What kind of therapy are you thinking? Like, let our viewers know, because we reach a lot of different people, and I know a lot of therapists, and I'm not saying that I need it, but of course I do. But I'm just saying, what kind of a therapy are you looking to provide in the community?
Well, we're going to have like tutors for children, and so like a lot of we also will have something called Kate's Club in there, maybe once a month or once a quarter. And this is, I don't know if you know about Kate's Club, but it's my husband's on the board, and it is a grief group for K through 18. And now they've extended that for adults, 18 to 30, I think, or 19 to 30. And those are what we will be housing in ours, where they have a meeting once a month, and some of it will be video, and some will be actual come into the coffee shop. So that will be, I think he said once a quarter, but anyway, we're going to do that in the community. because we've been really trying to advocate for something in Cobb County, because Kate's Club is in the Atlanta area, Decatur area.
Okay.
Because that's where their clubhouse is.
Okay.
So we're really trying to push something for Cobb County, because there's a need for that. And things like that, where people can come, and maybe we can get some specialty people to come in and talk about things that parents are looking for, or students are looking for, questions that they don't have the answer to, that they need. So we're going to try to bring in some people that have, like, what students need, that have need accommodations through school and high school and things like that. That's something that we have thought about.
No, I think that's a really good idea, and especially that if they're, in the Decatur area, people in Atlanta, it's a lot of traffic. So going over to that area from here is no easy feat if you're doing it at the wrong time. So maybe you can introduce us to a person from that, and we can have them on as a guest, because I think it would make, to understand their focus and what they're doing to provide grief recovery for people that are going through, what you've had to go through, you and your husband and your daughter. I mean, it's so important, because you can't do it alone. You have to do it. And these are obviously trained professionals to help through that journey. What is your daughter's, that you're partnering with? What's your daughter's skill set? How are y'all splitting up the responsibilities of BrainStation?
Well, she is a graduate of Ole Miss, and she graduated with a psychology degree and an art minor. And now she's in graduate school at Liberty as education. So she is more of my marketing person.
Yeah.
She is out there advertising, putting it out on Facebook, Instagram,
right,
flyers out. We're trying to get the word out.
Yes.
About what all we have.
No, it's so important that the younger generation who grew up with technology will embrace that part of it. I always tell my friends is, don't, I'm 66. So, I say, you don't want to be trying to be a social media person in your 60s, because it's not something that's secondhand to you. The younger people it's natural. They grow up with it. They understand Instagram. They understand Facebook, YouTube, all these channels that help get the word out. What would you say? I mean, how's the parking there? I've always gone by it and I look over there, but I haven't been able to notice. Do you have ample parking for people to come visit you?
Well, we have, our parking lot's not real big, but we've, Kennesaw First Baptist, which is right diagonal for it.
Yep.
They have offered their VIP parking.
Oh, nice.
And then, so we have that. And then there's a building next to us, and then the next lot down is public parking. So
okay. So you're covered there. Obviously, yeah. I know you're thinking that. I know I was thinking, just I was driving by. I've noticed that building for years. What was it before y'all bought it and turned it into the BrainStation?
It was summertime, and it was a little restaurant.
Okay, awesome.
Like a cafe type thing.
Yeah. Hey, it's always good, because restaurants, they come and go, because it's just the way restaurants are. Even Bernie's downtown there used to be trackside. Now they're a different concept. So restaurants is just the way it is. And then Bartina and I went to the pizzeria, which is, I guess, stone's throw from where you guys are. Are you I think you're close to the pizzeria, right?
Yeah, the Vesuvios or.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I was telling Bartina, I said, I'm dyslexic, so pronouncing names is not easy. So BrainStation I was able to do, but when a name is like longer than 4 letters, it's harder to remember for me. So I know, but the pizza is great there. So it's like whatever. I'm a simple name person, and Brain Station is a simple name. I love it. So what besides your husband being your landlord, what involvement do you see him in the business?
He's going to support me and help me out in anything that I need. So
Wow.
he set up, things like our internet, make sure that's good.
Yeah.
Our guest Wi-Fi. He's helping with the cash register. He's been in there with me with the building. We've had to do things to the building. So,
Right.
so he'll support me in whatever I need.
It's good to have a good relationship with your landlord.
Yeah.
And I tell you, because I talk to business owners, and you have a unique relationship, and that's a good one. Because if there's an issue, you can come home and say, "Honey, we got to fix this," and you don't even have to make a phone call. He's right there to be able to hear you. So, and I would guess, I don't want to assume anything. You're a pretty high priority for him, so I think you get things done quickly.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
we're good on that front.
Tell us about, I looked at your website, and I know there's, in the coffee end of it, there's an individual, I guess, that's running it, and she's up on your website. Tell us a little bit about her and what she's bringing to your business.
It's just my daughter.
Oh, is that Emily is your daughter?
Well, Emily is the daughter that we lost. Then Haley is my is on the website.
Okay.
So we're advertising for employees.
Okay.
So we are looking for a manager to run the coffee side and just the whole thing. So we're doing some interviews. Matter of fact, we have one in just a little while. So.
Awesome. Well, our viewers too know a lot of people out there, so we'll let them know that what your needs are. So, if people know people in the community, and it's also good. As I was over at CNB Cafe, we talked about, if you need people, you want somebody that's close to you, because if they can, like, let's say somebody lives in the downtown area and they can walk to work. That's obviously a pretty nice thing because you don't have the commute. But so we'll put that out there, and we'll see if the person you're interviewing is not the right person, maybe our viewers can suggest some people to you. And we always put your information in our show notes, so they'll be able to get a hold of you and contact you should they have some questions. And so when it comes to your tutors, are you going to tutor in the math and the English and the sciences, the basics, or what's your thoughts there?
Well, we're looking at Kennesaw State students to maybe come in and tutor some, which will be good. We have a contact there at Kennesaw State, but we'd love to be able to tutor. There's so many children with dyslexia, which my daughter has.
Yep.
And so just trying to help them navigate through school and that type of thing. So we're trying to do that. We will see how that works with the tutors that we have. We have a curriculum that we've looked at. So we'll see what we get as far as students. But I think we're going to talk to Kennesaw first, and since they have a school there, to see what they need, if they will have any needs that we can help them with too.
Well, I'll also introduce you to, there's a lady that goes to my church. I grew up with dyslexia. I went to the Shank School later in life.
Did you?
Yeah. So and that was when audio was coming out. And I remember the teacher, I don't remember her exact name, but she said, "Are you familiar with audio to text?" I said, "No." She goes, "Google has an audio to text." And I went, "Oh my gosh." And that was when I first started to be able to write emails, because my dyslexia, writing is not my first thing I love to do. So
yeah, that was her too, but she's done really well.
Yes.
But you have to advocate for the students in school. And so it's, especially if they're in public school. So we're really trying to help with that too, because I know it was difficult when I was trying to do it. And
Yes.
to be able to graduate from college with a bachelor's degree and now into the education program at Liberty for graduate degree, it's really, I'm very proud of her. She's worked really hard, but she also had dyscalculia too.
What is that? I'm not familiar
That's
with.
the math portion of dyslexia.
Really? There's a math portion? I didn't know.
And there's a writing portion, this
Yeah.
dysgraphia, and she
Yeah.
had all three.
Wow. That's look, I know growing up with dyslexia, the challenges. So it's
Yeah.
not like I'm not making light of it, but it's better today than it was years ago.
Yes, it
I'm
is.
just in the remedial reading places, and when they'd ask the class to read, I mean, I would count the people and I would like go over what I was going to be reading when it came around to me. So I wasn't listening to anybody else. I was just trying not to embarrass myself when I was.
That's exactly her.
Yeah, you have survival skills, and man, you learn survival skills in education because it's kind of like the hidden. It's like a hidden wound that nobody knows about but you, or maybe your mom and dad, but nobody knows about it. So they look at you and they go, well, you look pretty normal. But, when it comes to reading and processing,
Yes.
words and stuff like that, oh my gosh, it's a nightmare. So
it's tough for kids, and it's something that they really need help with. I mean, even now, they've come a long way from what they did, even from when she was doing it, where they wouldn't even talk about it before she got diagnosed. So she was diagnosed later.
Yeah.
So she was a fifth grader before she was diagnosed.
Interesting, because the lady at my church was talking about, and I had no idea, but we got in a conversation about she works at Cornerstone, so it's hybrid, and so then her I guess boss, I don't know what, I have to talk to her again, but she was talking about private school dyslexia is completely different than public. They basically, how they diagnose you in the public sector, it's always kind of not that there's anything wrong with public, but it runs behind in certain things because they're looking at a big bureaucracy of how they're implementing things, where a small private school or homeschool, they can just get to it right away. And so maybe I can introduce you to her, which you might even know her. I mean, do you know anybody up at Cornerstone?
I knew some people that were there. They're not there any longer. I know one person that's at Cornerstone, and that's Ziomi. She's a Spanish teacher. So
yeah, I mean, I'll connect you up with them, and because she currently is up there and she handles dyslexia for Cornerstone. So she said she would be on my podcast, and then she works with another person, and that person's is supposed to too. So I'm actually pretty sensitive to dyslexia, obviously, because when you grow up with it, you know the challenges, and I know it's no easy feat for your daughter to complete her master's. I mean, it's like I didn't even graduate from high school because I flunked English in senior year in high school. So it was like, and it was the first year they didn't give you a blank diploma. So all my friends were saying, hey, what happened? And so I flunked it. I mean, I deserved it. I couldn't put, words together, but, usually they give you a blank diploma and everybody goes down. But that particular year, they decided they weren't going to do it. So I was picking up golf balls when my friends were graduating from high school. So needless to say, I remember those things. So I'm sure your daughter can share her challenges and journey with us. Maybe we can have her on the on the podcast down the road, and we can talk about dyslexia, because it's a subject I love to shine some light on. So,
Yes.
but let's get back to the business side. So, what are your thoughts on your grand opening, and what are your plans for October the 17th and leading up to it? Do you have any ideas that you've been passing around?
Yeah. We may offer like a little coupon. We've gotten some ideas about, we'll have a coupons and stuff out that people can pass out, and we can have a little discount on things. We're not really sure yet. We're still trying to put some things together. So we should have everything in the brain station that will be in there normally. So on the 17th, and hopefully we have besides me to work there, but if not, I'll be there all day.
Awesome. Well, as a business owner, there's a fair amount of hours and anything starting out.
Yes.
So I know, since I had a stroke back in February, so the brain injury and the human brain has been a source of my information. I've been studying it and learning things that I never knew. And so when Bartina told me the brain station, I went, oh my gosh, I listened to about 2 or 3 podcasts on just the brain and how it works, and the muscle, and just different things. I know we had this on a previous podcast, and just, if this can serve you, this will be great, is they recommended that you add value instead of discounting your products. So let's just say that you say half price for pastries. Let's just, so if somebody gets used to half price, when you go to full price, they're going, whoa, the price went up, So if you say you can have like something like a half hour tutoring session for the first week, then it drives your tutoring and it drives your value of people seeing what else you have. So all these cross promotions are real important. Just think of adding value. Add value to your customers and do it in a way that helps them to see the many things that you have under the umbrella of the brain station. So, and I'm a firm believer in the Kennesaw Business Association, your local association.
Yes.
A lot of people will join the chamber first, and I say join the local association first, because it is in your backyard. And then as your business grows, you can, grow into a Cobb chamber. But, if you go immediately as a small business into a chamber, you're like a pebble in a pond. It's big. So, but I think Kennesaw Business has 400 businesses, and when the luncheons are about 125 people, and then they're free to go to the wake up and the evening one. So if you want to go and just meet other people at the wake up, those are once a month, and you don't even have to be a member to join those, but they're great ways for people to hear from you and see and understand what you're doing, because I think your concept is fantastic. So I want to be respectful of your interview. So I always like to say, what do you have any guests that you would like to recommend? Like if I don't remember right off the top of my head, but the counseling in Decatur. If you can recommend any people that would be good guests for our Kennesaw listeners, because most of ours are listening in Kennesaw, we would love to, for you to get back with Bartina and just say, hey, there's a couple people that could be guests. Anybody off the top of your head you want to give them a shout out, or do you want to just get back with Bartina?
Yeah. Well, Kate's Club is the
okay.
The organization, and it's a nonprofit organization.
Okay.
But and I would talk with my husband and see
who
we could maybe get together with for Kate's Club, because I think it's real important for them to be out in the Kennesaw area or just the Cobb County area. Exactly.
Yes.
Because there's not anything out here for us. And going in the Decatur clubhouse is full.
Oh,
So,
it is. I'm not surprised.
So that's a big thing too.
Okay.
That we can get them out here in a place for kids to meet. We want the kids too, and I think they're looking more at the South Cobb area for the children.
Mm-hmm.
But we would be the locate, which is the older 18 to 30 people that's lost a parent or a significant person in their life. So,
well, that's important to have some support and help for people that are going through that journey, because when you do it alone, it's a scary journey. And so I've had some grief in my family, so I understand somewhat the challenge of really trying to move forward with something you'll never obviously forget. Yeah. So I know, your baker, I'd love to have her on too. If she's looking for some wholesale accounts and wants to talk about, what she does best, certainly get back with Bartina and we'll invite her on the show. And that way she can, tell us about her unique pastries and just things that she does best that nobody else does. And that's always good too.
Yeah, she's she only took like 3 wholesale people. And
okay.
So she, in Ackworth, and she has me and she has another one. So she's very small, but she just wanted to do these like a few wholesale people. So.
Yeah. No, I tell you, if you're a one-person operation, you don't want to have 50 accounts, because it's going to be more than just one person. So that makes sense. So really, for yourself to have her supplying it, she only has 3. That really speaks to the uniqueness, because I'm sure she's driven by quality. If she's she's thinking about that, only like 3 people. That's good. That's like
something that she just loves to do.
Yeah. No, that's good. No, so Kathy, I always like to give our guests, the last insight. What would you like? First, tell us how people can get a hold of you.
They can reach us. Well, they can send any questions or anything to Kathy with a K at mybrainstation.net. They can visit the website to learn a little bit about us, and thebrainstation.org.
Okay.
And they can call me directly if they need anything. And
we'll put whatever number you want, because you don't want to get a call at 10:30 at night when you're at home with your landlord. I think he would probably want to speak with you personally, not somebody that's calling you about when you're going to open up the next morning or something trivial like that. So tell us a little bit about, like, what would you want our listeners to remember you by as far as this podcast? We always want to hear from you and your parting thoughts.
We just want to be a light in the community of Kennesaw, a place where people can feel comfortable and it feels like family, especially with the college students or anybody just living around in the area. They just are excited to come in and see us, and we share a little bit of wisdom with them and a little bit of coffee. We hope to be the fuel for their success.
Awesome. That's well said, Kathy. I mean, I get chill bumps when I hear people that are doing things beyond just the making of money in business, that there's a greater purpose in what you're doing in the community. And certainly we want to wish you the very best. And I know our viewers do too. So thank you for being a guest on the Kennesaw Happenings podcast.
Thank you.
And we want to thank Bartina for saying, "Hey, look, I got a good guest," and she
Yeah.
did. I mean,
Yeah.
she was like, "Oh man, you got to have her on your podcast." And then when she told me about it, I said, "Oh, absolutely, absolutely." So thank you so much, Kathy. Appreciate you taking the time to be on the show.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.